What's going on, folks? Painless. This video is nothing in particular. There's some things that I've noticed. There's some events that have been going on, some things I want to touch on and give my opinions about it. So nothing real formalized. It may appear I'm jumping all over the place, but again, I'm talking about various hot topics that have been going on within the last week or so. Man, it's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. Heard about two young artists, rappers. No, not that guy wasn't a rapper, but and see, I'm even feeding into it. This whole clout chasing, and I've talked about this clout chasing society, this capping society that we live in, where it's not only these young kids with IG and Snap and Twitter. This shit is a epidemic, a pandemic, and it's from black, white, Hispanic, old as hell, young as hell. Everybody is suffering from attention capping disease. This need to be seen and heard. And people will go so far as to murder to get identified. And mental illness is real, okay? Suicide, I've said this about suicide. I have my views about suicide. I think suicide, to me, it's something one shouldn't do, especially if you're a family individual, wife, or a husband. It's a real selfish act, put it that way. I'm just going to say it. Many people may not have liked what I just said, but that's my beliefs. I think it's a selfish act because you're knowing what you're going to leave behind in the many unanswered questions that haven't been answered that people will take to their graves. So it's a selfish act to me, and something that. Hopefully someone will never use as a last resort. But mental illness is real, and I would say to people who are contemplating suicide, please seek professional help. Lean on family and close friends, things of that nature. But suicide is never the answer. Suicide is definitely, that's the final answer, if anything. And it's not an answer, meaning you can't come back from that. And, that goes in conjunction with this capping society that we live in. I had someone send me a series of videos, and it was entertaining. I didn't watch all of them, but I got a good idea what was going on. And then the individual that sent me, shout out to him. I'm not going to divulge. I never divulge names. People send me material, and there's people who've asked me to give book reviews. Just to let you know, I haven't forgotten about you all that have sent me those. I will get around to it, but I just want to let you know that I haven't forgotten. But I've never divulged names. It's no reason. But I do get material, FYI, and I encourage that. 41st Street Bruh at gmail.com, 41STERRE, 41STREETBRUH at gmail.com, excuse me, 41st Street Bruh at gmail.com. Send me material, things of that. But, let me get in here, I'm rambling. I'm not really going to go, I don't really want to, because it's so silly. And it's so ordinary and basic and such an example of the shit that I talk about. in this society we live in. And it's not necessarily the pandemic, but I think the pandemic has enhanced this look at me culture that we live in. This very, and it's all intermingled with the wokeism, the fact it's difficult to explain, but then it isn't, because it's so all over the place. When you have someone, Painless is single man, and I go on dating sites. I use them strategically. And now that things are beginning to open up, I like to hit the streets in terms of hitting a nice lounge, rooftop bar, things of that nature, things that I was doing pre-pandemic. So, but in the meantime, between time, Painless was using dating sites, as many of you were too as well. Millions of people around the world were using that as well because we couldn't go nowhere. So when I see a woman or an individual say, well, and this is the type of shit that I speak about. When I've seen profiles, well, if you're a Trumper, and if you can't, what did this just say? If you're a Trumper, don't hit the X. I'm sassy, and I have a loud mouth to deal with it. And let me say this, men. Women tell you who the hell that they are. You just get so blurred by the physical attractiveness of said woman. Women tell you exactly. I've seen profiles where these women say, I'm crazy, I'm hard to handle, I'm a handful, and blase, 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 blase. So they tell you exactly who the hell that they are. You got women up here that are, 320 pounds saying, I don't want a guy under 5'10", has to have a six-pack, has to have a body. And you 320 damn pounds. Where do you get the gall to be choosy? Now, there's some women who are large that have pretty faces that are, attractive in the face. Painless, I like a woman with meat on her bones. But not, I always tell women, some women like, I'm little, I'm curvy. And I'm like, okay, you're not 600 pound, my 600-pound life curvy, are you? They're like, oh, no. And then I find out and I meet them in person. I'm like, oh, you're not even that big. Like, you're not big, but you're like, I don't know. But I understand women, they take their weight seriously. But there's the ones, like I said, that you're 320 pounds, 5'5", trying to dictate size and weight. You better be glad someone is trying to holler at your ass. Well, Painless, what does this all have to do? Well, it has a lot to do with the video that I received, the series of videos. You had a woman who was, fake threatened. The tantrums, the fake tears. It's like someone who's about to fall, who's acting, you ever try to, it's like, when you try to pick a kid up, you try to pick his little ass up, and he trying to drop down to the floor at the same time. He trying to put all his weight down so you can't pick it, and then you got to snatch his little ass up, or her ass up. And see, and I said this, people know, see, people play dumb. And, you know, it's like all these people out here talking about, you know, especially, you know, I read comments, man, on, you know, like racial issues, like this cop did this to this person. And I see all these black folks turn into fucking attorneys. I mean, making some good arguments. But then you tell them, you talk about George Floyd or Eric Garner, and they lose all that fucking intelligence just like that. But in the other situation, they're like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you do this, that, to get some benefits or to finagle a system. Oh, they get real fucking Doogie Howser on your ass. Get real intelligent. Hi, maka maka, as they say in Hawaii. But then, when it's time to talk about some shit like, well, you know, if you take this money fraudulently, these are the potential hazards. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, now you don't know shit. So this is the times that we live in, folks. So this lady, she knew she can finesse in front of the camera. And that's exactly what she did. It was a white woman, and it was a black woman recording. The white woman know that she can cry white tears, white female carrying tears, and people came to her aid just like that. You see, people know how to fake. It's like people who want to fall to make a fraudulent claim. But see, as soon as they fall, they're going to put that arm out there because they don't want to fall too goddamn hard and they don't want to hurt themselves too much. They know. See, they know what the hell that they doing. And this is what we live. See, we're living where a society where playing dumb and being a wise ass when it's at your advantage. And we all do this, but it's becoming intertwined into the politics and the influential sides of culture. Media is starting to do this. Your media outlets are out here capping and playing that bullshit ass play dumb tap dancing game. You have countries, world leaders doing this shit. Just like those people over there in Britain. What was that? The damn prime minister? What was that him? When them young African dudes who were raised in Great Britain missed those goals which caused Italy to win the World Cup in soccer or El Football. And the prime, I want to say it's the prime minister. He gets his ass up there and says, "Oh, I'm appalled. I can't believe this is going on." You know, I mean, really? Your country is Your country has its tentacles all over the planet. You have meddled in the affairs of damn near every part of the world. This is why I don't have, you know, when I hear those Europeans, those French, and those Brits over there complaining about immigrants, and they're over here, especially in France, all the Arabs and Africans, they're tearing shit up. They're burning shit up. Well, these are your fruits. These are your fruits. You in those folks' part of the world, countries, subjugating them, taking from them, and all this shit. And now that they're at your doorstep and you let them in the house, this is what the fuck you're going to have to deal with. Because you went over there centuries ago meddling in their shit. So this is what you're going to have to deal with, France. This is what you're going to have to deal with, Portugal. This is what you're going to have to deal with, Spain, Britain. You wanted to go all over the goddamn world. Now, many of y'all, you know my views about that. I could talk about the white man's burden and all this stuff. But it's just odd that this prime minister couldn't believe that he had people calling these two young men all type of racist names and slander and like where the fuck have you been? That's like the what do you call them? Like the Crown. They couldn't believe Meghan Markle had these sentiments. Like how? It's this willful dumb neglect that you would just see, you know, at a lower level, at the job, you know, yeah, freaking knuckle drag bullshitters on the job. Okay, we know that. We take that with a grain of salt. Bullshit ass knuckle draggers at school, you know, we just beat their ass, you know. But now you can't do that now. You can't do that to people now. You can't slap people now for making a felonious charge against you, and then when it's found out that you willfully did it, and you know, it's damn near almost getting to the point to where no one's getting any type of disciplinary action for making false claims against someone. It's just like, oops, my bad, you caught me. But what the fuck can you do about it? What are you going to do about it? You know? See, back in the day, we would just, you know, you get your ass whooped into a coma damn near. And, you know, everybody was like, well, won't do that shit again. And you shouldn't have did that shit again. And everybody knew. Everybody knew. I'll share you the story when I was in the Army. And I had a roommate, a new roommate. I was a private first class. He was a E1. And I showed him love, you know. One of my rooms was the rooms to be in, you know, as a young private, as a young troop, to drink and hang out. And I would have lady friends as well as some of my battles in other parts of the building and down the hall on a different floor. Not only did I have one woman, I had several women that used to come through. Do you know what this fool did? He told one of the girls I would have over every now and then, he pillow talked. That dirty Mackin shit, you know, hey, Painless, you know, how do you feel about him? Well, and it was a little white dude from Iowa. And not that, you know, dirty Mackin is only the white guys do it, but, you know, so he did one of those numbers. He had this other girl over here. And see, you know, let me just say this. And this is kind of like some teeny bop teenage advice that the people who are listening to my videos, I expect you to know this shit. Men and women, you should know this shit. Anytime you do that little dirty macking to someone trying to get in between their legs, most people, I would like to think at our age, would be like, look at this telling ass motherfucker. I'm not giving your ass no pussy. What kind of shit is that? I would expect a woman to be like that if a guy came to her on some Captain Dirty Mac shit. So anyway, he did that to me. And of course I got word. And the girl, she wasn't really tripping, but she was like, oh really? You got it? But she wasn't tripping. You know? And she told me the whole thing. And I said, so I got word. And I confronted him. I wanted to beat his ass. But see, what happened was, I said, man, you told Brandy about, Jamie coming over and shit? Like, oh man, no, he tried to do a little Beavis Butthead laugh and shit, and I'm like, damn man, I know you knew, man, and see, I could have folded his ass up in that room, and nobody would have heard his ass. Well, they would have heard him being slammed against those brick cinder block walls in the barracks. But anyway, I let that shit alone. So anyway, I told some of my partners in the platoon, and this is where what I was describing doesn't happen anymore. Remember how I was saying before I started this story that, there's no accountability when you do fucked up shit. There's, when you could just slap somebody up, or you could get reprimanded and handled and dusted up. Most people know not to do that anymore, but now we don't do that. So anyway, what happened was, word got around the platoon. Don't you know everybody in that platoon shunned his ass? I'm talking about the platoon sergeant. In the platoon, many of my military, especially my Army and Marine buddies know that, listen, in the platoon, you have the highest rank is called a platoon sergeant or a gunny. And he's usually he's usually an E7 or an E6 promotable or E6. And also in that, you'll have a platoon leader, which is usually a second or a first lieutenant. Do you know everybody, even the LT, shunned his ass? I remember I had one sergeant, white dude from West Virginia. He was like, yo, man, I can't, that cock-blocking motherfucker. Everybody was mad. And he got put on all the shit details after that. For a good 6 months, he was on the shit list of everybody. And this is in our platoon, it was all male unit. So I had platoon sergeant, like I said, one sergeant, he was from West Virginia. I had this redneckish squad leader. He was cool as hell, but he was a redneck from Pennsylvania who liked to hunt. Even my platoon sergeant, he smoked about 3 packs of cigarettes. So we had black, white, Hispanics. And one thing, while we were all different and came from all walks of life, big city, country south, redneck, hillbilly, dirty south, everybody in that platoon knew you don't fucking snitch on your damn battle buddies. All that Blue Falcon shit is out the door. Everybody, like I said, while we were all different in some way, shape, or form, that whole snitch telling shit, that shit will get you exiled and shunned. And that's exactly what happened to his ass. And then they were saying, my sergeant, Sergeant Wood, he like, hey, Painless, don't fuck him up, man. We're going to get him out your room. So, because I was like, y'all got to get this motherfucker up out of my room. It was like jail. Like, when you do that, it's like, look, you find out who they are. I was like, hey, Sarge. And they was like, no problem. I totally understand. Because they knew. See, that's the type of shit to where if you're in the field, and me or my Marine, my Army buddies know, when you in the field and you do see, if we was out in the field and some shit like that happened, they would have let me dust his ass up. They would have like smoked his ass. What happens out here stays out here. And this was an all male unit. And my platoon sergeant was crazy as hell, smoked 3 packs of cigarettes. My first sergeant Mac from North Carolina, he was crazy as hell, ex-drill sergeant, used to be on the trail. He wouldn't have said shit. It was a male unit. I was in a tank, armored male, all male unit. Nobody would have said shit if I dusted. And when I mean throw hands and beat the shit. Nobody would have said nothing. No white guy, no Hispanic, no black. Everybody knew the code. See, I know that was a long story, folks, but see, you can't do that now. That is pretty much non-existent. And like I said, when I recognize all this wokeism with that damn Occupy Wall Street, I recognize this shit where men were allowed to keep shit in order. You see, as a male, you understand the pecking order and you understand the rules. This is why men we tend to fall the fucking line because it's necessary. Because you could get exiled from the pack and you have to fend for yourself. You know, don't be a renegade or a Ronin. You know, you're out here doing what you want to do. You know, structure is in place. And the military is very structure oriented. That's why I've always been about structure because it's the natural order of things as men. But that's, you know, when I saw them talking about hazing, like when I got my stripes, I got blood stripes. And nobody ever thought nobody said shit about hazing. This is what we do. You put them chevrons on without the backings, and they stamp them shits in your collarbone. Now, military is coming, you know, and it's becoming something different than what it was, but that's just what it is. But yeah, you know, that video with that lady, it all coincides. This whole accountability. I know shit's not going to happen. I'm being recorded. It's premeditated. I already know the outcome. So film me anyway. I am a white woman. I'm going to get away with this shit, even if I'm recorded. And so the sister went on there, and those were the things that was happening. And so she, in turn, according to the sender of these series, made a GoFundMe, claimed that she is feeling some type of way, that she feels, and I blame this a lot on the law as well. And how I said all this capping shit, now you see politicians doing it now. Now we're getting into legalese. The law allows for this. Would you think, if some shit happened to you, would you ever think, hey, I'm suffering from emotional distress and shit like, you would never think that unless you knew it was legal for you to claim that. You would never think to claim insanity if you went out and did some shit in the heat of passion. You caught your wife in bed and this dude's got your wife in the prone bone position, you know, kissing on her neck and back and turning around and looking at you while he's doing it, and you smoke his ass. Would you ever consider claiming the crime of passion? No. But the law has put it in your head to claim some shit like that. When in actuality or in ordinary normal circumstances, devoid of such laws, you just did the shit because, hey, yeah, you would have did it too. So, but see, the law allows this shit as well. You know, the scribes. There's always been shit in history about the scribes always writing shit down, and you know, you translate that down. You translate that into the ones always recording shit now. Always got their phones out, you know, capping and look at me, you know. Just like that young boy in California, in Los Angeles, that got, you know, You know, he got smoked. You know, and this out here capping and I'm not gonna speak too much on that. It is what it is. I seen the video. It's unfortunate, but when you do that, you cap like the dude in Chicago. Got shot 60 times. It's not funny, but it's. I wonder to myself what makes someone allow what did he do to make someone shoot him 64 times in front of his mama and sister? That's what I would like to know. I just want to know. Because it's safe to say I already know his lifestyle, but I want to know what made somebody do that. What made somebody shoot you 64 times? Not just you, but your mother and your sister. Somebody made a calculated risk and said, I don't care who he's out there with. So that's what was driving me in that unfortunate case. Like, what did he do to make someone do that? And like I said, people who get shot like that, it's not it's an isolated incident. Thank goodness. It's bad. Just like I said about Nipsey. Nipsey was a rolling 60 neighborhood Crip at the end of the day. And I don't care how much he talked about black empowerment and doing this and stopping smoking weed and Family Man and the videos. He was a Crip in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles gang activity is very, very, very serious. The gang culture in Los Angeles, I can't speak on Chicago, but I would assume that it is. But I can speak on Los Angeles. The Los Angeles gang culture in South Central Los Angeles, in Compton and surrounding areas, is very, very, very serious. It's serious. So people need to understand that at the end of the day, he was throwing, he was giving it up, chunking it up every opportunity he got. And those dudes have a lot of enemies. So we can feed into that emotionalism. Oh, it's Nipsey. No, he was he made it known he was that too. Let's not get away from that. He made it known he was that. So this willful neglect and like this, like you see me with this shirt on, but no, it's not blue, it's pink. I got a blue shirt on. No, it's pink. Well, no, it's blue. Well, prove it. See, that's the type of society that we're living in. This insane, willful neglect to where you don't need receipts, but when you produce them, oh, I don't believe it. Those aren't yours. That didn't really happen. But you just asked me to produce receipts. And when I produce them, you're saying that they're felonious or fake. That's the society we live in. Has it always been like this? Probably so. But like I said earlier, you used to deal with that shit at job, at school, But now you got the media doing it. Politicians. All these capping ass YouTubers on here that is like, well, you only have so many subscribers. Fuck your subscribers. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? When I hear fools talking, that shit is funny, but like I don't give a damn about your subscribers. And like I said, man, I am me painless. I'm of the opinion. This is my opinion. If you got that much smoke, y'all need to meet up and squab and get that shit over with. That's what I'm about. That's why I don't do that. Last person I with at was Mad Voodoo Man's ass. I had to touch him up and be done with it. That's it. He's a grown man, older than me. I'm a grown man, and that's it. If I saw him in person, I wouldn't do nothing to him. I'd probably say, "Hey man, what's up?" Not in an aggressive way, like like your material. That's it. But the way some of these fools be talking on a continuous basis, you notice anybody I address, I dust them up and I keep it moving. I'm not revisiting that shit. I said what I said. But just to keep nitpicking and picking and bringing up names, and a lot of people talk too goddamn much, man. What's that girl, Tasha K? I think she just lost a $3 million court settlement by Cardi B over some bullshit ass. See, and that's the thing. See, which is could be good. But it really is. And I've been saying this for years when people came after me about my particular views. I said, you know what? All that fighting, while I do think it could be good, and the only reason I say I would promote a meetup and squab or a fight, do it in a controlled environment where there's gloves, and y'all meet up, and may the best man or woman win. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about come to my city, which you a fool if you would do, and say, hey, meet me at this lounge, and you walk up in the lounge, and the whole club, he got the whole club against your ass. Or, yeah. Don't do nothing like that. Do it in a controlled environment. Put the gloves on. No headgear, and just go to work. Go to work and end that shit. But see, a lot of y'all ain't gonna do that. All you capping ass YouTubers, that sit up there for 3-4 hours. And I know why you're doing it. You're making money off of it. I get it. But if you keep revisiting and you talking all that tough shit, just go on and meet up. In a controlled environment, no pistols, no bullshit, just some gloves, no headgear, and squab. Thug it out. I'm serious, man. Like I said, with that Tasha K, and I said that this is what you got to do, fools that run their, and see, that's the thing about black folks, all that running the mouth like we back in the hood and making slanderous claims. See, that shit, when you start hitting them pockets like they did with her, that's it. You get that shit shut down and you living out of your Audi like a Tanya TKO, Toya, whatever her name is. That's when shit gets real. When you start hitting them pockets. But yeah, like I said, folks, I knew this video was going to be all over. Oh, man. People just don't know how to shut their God. Just shut your damn mouth. Shut up. Shit. I remember that's what my mom used to tell my sister. Women always try to have the last word. She'd be like, just sit there and shut your mouth. Shit. Shut up. Just shut your damn. My sister used to be over there looking crazy. That's when she knew she just needed to shut up, man. Come on, my mom just. But a lot of people need that. This shut up. You talk too goddamn much. Shit. You know, just. But you know, when there's money and attention flowing, people just want to bump their gums. But I said, you know, hey, either you gonna feel it in your pockets or you gonna really feel it in your gums. Painless out.